This is RBN, the Republic Broadcasting Network.
What really happened with your host, Mike Rivero, because World War III is a really bad idea. Here is your host, Michael Rivero.
And aloha, America. Welcome to our show today. It is Thursday, April 30th, 2020. Sure happy it's Thursday. Sure happy it's Thursday. Sure happy it's Thursday. End of the month day as well. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about today. The phone lines are open, 800-313-9443. That's 800-313-9443. Mike is in our control room, twiddling the dials, keeping us out of trouble, ready to put you on the phone with your comments, questions, opinions, and observations. So let's just get right on into it. Obviously, a lot of news breaking about Michael Flynn, and even the corporate media is covering this, and the Democrats are all squirming. But apparently, some handwritten FBI notes were finally unsealed, and makes it very obvious they were out to get Flynn. They were out to frame him. You know, down at the bottom said, "What is our goal? Truth admission, or to get him to lie so we can prosecute or get him fired?" And so the Department of Justice released this information to General Flynn's new attorney, Sidney Powell. Now, I emphasize new attorney because he had a different legal team when he was going through that whole thing about getting corralled and coerced into a confession on the claim that, you know, he would get probation. You know, they baited him into it is basically what they did. And his first legal team did not do a very good job to protect him. Now it's come on out that they still have some 6,000 pages of documents that were not released in a timely manner, and they're having to turn those over now. Something else that surfaced about this is that Peter Strzok, remember Peter Strzok, and he was having this affair with Lisa Page, and they were sending text messages back and forth, you know, about how, you know, Trump will not be president. We've got a backup plan. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Well, apparently, according to a new filing in Flynn's case, the FBI investigation into Flynn was called Crossfire Razor. And on January 1st, New Year's Day, 2017, the Washington, D.C. field office of the FBI recommended closing the case against Flynn. They had found no evidence against him. They just wanted to say, it's over. The investigation's over. We found nothing. And apparently what happened is that Peter Strzok got on his little SMS machine, as you were, saying, don't close Razor. So we need to get Peter Strzok in there, get him under oath, get him on the stand and say, what the heck were you talking about? The FBI said there was no evidence against Flynn, and still you went after him. Why? What's the motive here? Strzok clearly was running off the rails at that point. Okay, so Trump, of course, is watching what's going on very carefully. He says there's something far more troubling here. And William Barr said, my own view is that the evidence shows we're not dealing with just mistakes or sloppiness. Something far more troubling here. We're going to get to the bottom of it. And if people broke the law and we can establish that with the evidence, they will be prosecuted. Everybody's out there saying, well, you know, either Flynn is going to be exonerated and all charges dropped, or Trump should pardon him. I can understand why Trump hasn't pardoned him yet. Okay, because if there's a pardon, people will still be able to say, well, you know, Flynn was probably guilty anyway, and Trump was just bailing out his dear old friend here. So Trump is hoping that the process of law is going to go through and say, yeah, this was a frame-up. It was a setup by the FBI. Not that this is anything new about the FBI. If you've studied the history of COINTELPRO, for example, and all the people they set up there to put in jail because they were talking about, you know, those dangerous ideas like, you know, maybe getting out of Vietnam. The early feminists, the Native American movement. Remember Leonard Peltier? The FBI are not the good guys. They're the United States version of the Gestapo. Meanwhile, over in Russian dossier land, Christopher Steele is now admitting that Hillary Clinton and Susan Rice knew about his anti-Trump research. Okay, we're going to go ahead. We're going to take a phone call. We've got Paul from New Jersey on the line here. And I put him on the ban list after that tirade he did against the red states and all the email I got pouring in complaining about him. But we're going to give him an opportunity to defend himself right now. So, Paul, thank you for joining us. And what's on your mind?
Hello, Michael. Hey, Michael, first of all, I thought my line, and am I allowed to repeat it or will I offend people?
Well, go ahead and repeat it so people have the context.
Right. Remember, when I said red state retards, I was referring to two particular callers of yours, one of whom we can refer to as Joe, let's bomb the Wuhan biolab from Tennessee, and Tom from Florida, the two of them. They have they've consistently bashed the blue states, for one, Tom particularly from Florida. Second of all, Joe from Tennessee, if you replay the archive, you'll find that he referred to the Jersey callers, and I'm sure he means Dustin and myself, as women and girls. Remember that. So here we have two red state dwelling people. And by the way, they're both carpetbaggers. They're not actually born in red states. They migrated to red states. And here they are bashing blue states constantly. So I don't see why people would be mad that a red-blooded blue state dwelling person comes to defend his blue state.
Well, I'll tell you if you're interested. Okay, because you didn't say, I want to talk about Dustin and I want to talk about this person and I want to talk about Tom and the rest of it. You started out your screed, first of all, attacking me. Second of all, you went.
Wait, when did I attack you, though?
Hang on a second, Paul.
Okay.
Okay. You went on this screed about how the red states wouldn't have any roads if it weren't for the blue states. And the red states are just, a bunch of farmers, which, the blue states wouldn't eat without those, I'd like to point out. And so people thought you were talking collective. I thought you were talking collectively when you said red state retards. To me, that sounded like a collective condemnation. And if there's a problem here, it's that you weren't being clear and saying, okay, instead of talking about the entire state population, I want to talk about some individuals who shall remain nameless. And I think people probably would have been a lot less upset with you had you done so.
Right. But as my point is, here they are bashing my state constantly, right? The great state of New Jersey. And then Joe referred to Dustin and me as women and girls in his call. So if I offended red state people, I apologize to them, but they shouldn't have taken it that way. And by the way, everything I said concerning much of the red state and the wealth of blue states in comparison to the red state, if anybody does a quick Wikipedia check, you'll see I'm correct. Also, if you know your history about the social programs that were enacted by the blue state New Yorker, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, you would find out that the interstate highways, much of that were sponsored by the blue states. And also rural electrification was also passed by blue states. So what I based it on is basically all facts. And so if you guys want to ban me, that's fine. That's fine. I'll take my money to Renegade Broadcasting Network, which will be very tolerant, right? And that's fine with me. But I just think I came to defend my state like any red-blooded New Jerseyan would do, and I don't feel shame for that. But it's up to you, Michael. It's your call.
Okay, well, give me a few days to think about it. And a little pop quiz there for you. We're talking about rural electrification. Can you name the state that had its Capitol building electrified first in the entire nation's history?
Probably Albany.
Nope.
Who?
Honolulu. Iolani Palace
Really?
had working electric lights 10 years before the White House did.
Uh-huh. And one thing I'd like to say too, though, is remember a lot of people like you're this way. You made your money in the blue state, and now you're retiring in a red state.
I
which is
also
common
lost I also lost my money in a blue state in the divorce,
Well, I shouldn't laugh.
which is real
But
big in the blue states, I might add.
yes, and also, like I said, the trend of people coming to the blue states because of the demand drives up wages, and the money inflates wages in blue states. So it's common that people migrate from red states to work in blue states. And like I said, it's smart. You make your money in a blue state, you retire in a red state. Where the
Well, I
housing and
didn't really make a lot of
real
money
estate
in the
cheap.
blue state because the cost of living at the blue state basically ate it all up. Anyway, Paul, we're going to let you go. We've
Right.
got others waiting on the line. So let's switch over to Jim in New York. Jim, welcome to the show. What's on your mind today?
We lost Jim.
We lost Jim. Let's go to Eric in Minnesota. Hello, Eric. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Hey, Mike, how you doing today?
Doing fine.
Good. Hey, you realize they're already starting off. The callers are trolling you. You know that, right, Mike?
Yep.
But that's what they're doing already. They're shills. You know that, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, I wanted to talk about Trump's impeachment. Remember, like I told you last week, a caller called in about how the whole left-right paradigm is just a bunch of nonsense. So, like,
Yes.
when you get callers calling in, the blue state, the red state, the blue state, the red state, using like different accents and using different names and voices from different states every day. You're getting trolled, right, Mike?
Yes. But even trolls have
Okay,
First
cool.
Amendment
All right.
rights.
Yeah, hey, damn right. I guarantee that. But if you keep voting for Trump or Biden or any of these people, that's all out the window. Remember this.
Well,
What's his
I'm
name?
doing
Joe
a
or
write-in
whatever,
vote on
Tom.
my wife.
Huh?
I said I'm going to write in my wife, write-in vote for my wife.
I guess it'll go down on your gravestone that Mike Rivero, he at least tried, versus some other people, So, like
Okay.
I said, make sure you keep getting out there and voting this year. Vote Biden, vote whatever his name is, Trump. It's all going to make a difference, right? If you just pull that lever, right, Mike? It's all going to
Yep.
change as long as your side wins, right?
It would help
It's
if you
all gonna be
remember the
better,
name of the
right?
candidate.
Yeah, well, then in New York today, they're not even going to have they're not even going to have a vote for the primaries or whatever. It's just like, all right, they're going to give it to Joe Biden. It's a joke. Just remember when Trump was running, he said the system is rigged. It's all a scam. Your vote doesn't count. Like he told everybody that. So what makes you
Yep.
think it's?
Well, at that
And he
time, we
also said
expected
that
him
he
to
was
fix
gonna
the
censor the
system, and he
internet.
didn't.
Huh?
I said at that time we expected him to fix the system, but he didn't.
Yeah, like he was going to have the vaccine safety board, and now he's telling you that you're going to have to take a vaccine.
Yep.
It's terrible, Mike. So I don't know. I guess the cognitive dissonance is strong, man. All the years of programming, it paid off, right? It got him, got everybody, huh?
Yep.
So hopefully Dustin's all right. I hope he calls in here soon. I'm sure he's got a big old sob story today to tell us about how he came in contact with somebody who didn't have a mask on. And he fucking wet his panties. Sorry, I didn't mean to curse, but yeah, hopefully not. We'll see. Anyway, Mike, it was good talking to you, buddy. All right.
All right. Thanks an awful lot for the phone call. We're going to switch over to Mark in North Carolina. Hello, Mark. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind today?
Hey, what's up, Mike? First of all, what this guy just said about you being trolled by people with fake accents, I've lived in a lot of different states, a lot of different places. Those aren't fake accents. This guy, what's his name, Paul from New Jersey, he's really
Yep.
from New Jersey. Okay, Dustin, really from New Jersey. I still, unfortunately, got a New York accent, somewhat of a New York accent. I've tried to get rid of it, but it's one of those things, all right? But anyway,
Yeah.
I do live in North Carolina, though. But in answer to Dustin yesterday, he's kind of, indicated, oh, I must be some kind of rich landowner or something like that. Well, Dustin, let me tell you something, all right? First of all, I'm glad you're watching my YouTube channel. Happy about that. And you're welcome. I hope you're a subscriber. But second of all, understand this. Coming from Jersey, you don't understand something. Place I've got, yes. If I lived in New Jersey, though I wouldn't be able to have a manufactured home, which I have, I'd probably be zoned out. They wouldn't allow it in zoning. We don't have those kind of zoning requirements here in North Carolina, nor do we have them in Texas. But with the land I got a half an acre. It's real nice, right in the mountains. If it was in Jersey somewhere, yes, it probably would cost anywhere from $500,000, maybe more, and I'd probably be paying $20,000 in property taxes in that rip-off state. Okay. But here in North Carolina, guess what, Dustin? I got this place for $82,000. And you know how much taxes I pay a year? $567 a month. I mean, $567 a year. That's probably, you pay probably more than that if you have a house in New Jersey. You probably pay that a month or more, and probably to live in some little dump like the type of place I lived in when I lived in New York. Okay, that's the thing. Okay, that's because you people in the red states don't understand this. I mean, in the blue states don't understand that. But we in the red states, even though I am originally from blue states, do understand this. Okay, that's why I've lived in Texas and North Carolina for many years, and I don't even go back to that dump. That's what I call New York City. And basically, New Jersey's the same thing. The minute you drive in New Jersey, the first thing you got to do is pay like a $15 to $20 toll. So I got no use for those places. But just to let you know, Dustin, it's nice down here. If you want, you should move down here. Okay? Probably be a lot happier. I was hoping, by the way, Mike, you would move to North Carolina, okay? Instead of, because, but Indiana's a nice state too. But I know you would have liked it here too. But anyway, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. I did want to make a couple of comments about foreign policy we got going. That is warmongering crap that.
Yeah, go ahead,
Trump
because I'm going to be dealing with that later in the show.
Okay, the kind of warmongering crap that Trump is allowing Pompeo to carry out, whether it's with Iran or China or Venezuela. All we need now, another war. When you mess with China, Trump, you're really messing with a lot more than you think you can do. And one other thing, too, just an answer to Tom in, I think it's Florida. The problem is today is not communism, okay? The problem today is a very predatory form of capitalism. That's why we have these tech companies, these big banks, big pharma, and all these other corporations and stuff running this country, buying off the politicians and ruining this country, sending us into third world status now. Okay, that's the problem. It's not communism. Matter of fact, certain things about, you go to Venezuela, if it wasn't for the sanctions, they were doing actually very well. So that's all I got to say, Mike. Okay, thanks. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks for the phone call. We're going to switch to Joe in Houston. Hello, Joe. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind today?
Yeah, I call it Wall Street socialism. That's what we're living under. I wanted to talk about Flynn, but real quick for Paul in New Jersey. It's kind of funny that he says that I called out him and Dustin as girls, but really I never mentioned their name. I just said the two girls that call in from New Jersey. And I thought it was kind of funny because, you always hear of that, the Jersey girl, it's kind of like a term. And it was just the fact that, and I'll admit it, that's who I was talking about, but I never really called them by name. But I'll tell you why, and that's because I hear them whining about the mask and the threat of this COVID virus. And a lot of us are hardier, and we want to do like the Swedes with the herd immunity and just take the risk in life. So in a way, they're acting like girls. I'll call them out on it. They, if you're offended by it, I'm sorry, but you're acting like, scared little girls. And we got to just, and meanwhile, if we listen to scared little girls and we close down this economy, there's going to be a lot more damage and a lot more suffering in this country, which is what I'm concerned about, than this virus is gonna cause. I mean, this virus is like a very serious flu. And if it was created by the Chinese and released as a bioweapon against this country, that is an act of war. And I think a tit for tat might be necessary. And I think a limited bombing of the Wuhan bioweapons, I'll stand by that. If this turns out that this was deliberate and we can prove it, I think, well, first we ought to ask for money, a lot of money, as recompense. And if they don't pay it, then we're going to have to tighten the screws somehow. And bombing is not out of the question as far as I'm concerned. It's tactical. You do it at the one weapons lab, which released the bioweapon that caused all this damage. And I don't think that's that unreasonable. I hope it wouldn't start a future, more, a bigger war. But that's, that's, to me, that's a reasonable way to deal with
Joe,
it. Otherwise, we're just going to let...
Yeah, we got to let you go for commercials. Got another caller waiting on the line. We'll be right back.
Did you know that you can be tracked and traced when you're online? With identity theft and cybercrimes on the rise, your passwords, your identity, and even your physical location can be revealed to complete strangers. Would you like to surf the internet anonymously and not have to worry about these threats? Well, now you can by visiting patriotinternet.com. For about $2 per month, patriotinternet.com will conceal your IP address and your physical location, allowing you to browse the web, send emails, and instant message anonymously. patriotinternet.com will bypass filters, block sites, and keyword blocking. You can also bypass logging by your router and your ISP. With patriotinternet.com, there is no software to install and uses 128-bit encryption for your protection. When using wireless hotspots, patriotinternet.com shields your information from identity thieves and is compatible with Windows, Mac, and Linux. Protect your identity and your freedom with anonymous internet access from patriotinternet.com. Visit patriotinternet.com today.
Folks, we're living in a world the likes of which we've never perceived any clearer than we do now. The plan for global governance has been in the works for generations and would have likely been achieved by now, but for the fact that the globalists left open their Achilles heel. With all their tools, Federal Reserve System, fiat currency, no child left behind, and then Common Core education introduced to our schools to dumb us down, vaccines, pharmaceuticals to lobotomize us, GMO foods, insertion of compromised or bought and paid for politicians, judges, mainstream media propaganda, all pieced together like a puzzle designed to ultimately bring the world under submission. But with all their strategy, they forgot one thing: knowledge. And knowledge is power. With knowledge, their bombardment is nullified. Folks, with that, as brilliant and knowledgeable as you've become, among the wisest audience of any radio audience in the world, and you are, I want you to take a moment to reflect and ask yourself, how much of that knowledge did I obtain from Republic Broadcasting Network? How high has my consciousness been raised since I've been a listener? How fast am I now able to discriminate truth from fake news by being a Republic Broadcasting listener? How clear am I now able to see the world since I've been listening to RBN? Ask yourselves those questions, folks. Then ask yourself, what is that knowledge worth to me? Like my morning coffee, how would I survive without it? A voice of truth in a sea of lies. Do we not all need to make sure it survives? Like public broadcasting, we are now finding we can only survive with listener support. Censorship, advertisers being attacked, truth itself being attacked. It's the only way through this. We at Republic Broadcasting humbly ask you to become a supporter. Look at your budget and make a determination of what Republic Broadcasting is worth to you and what you can afford on a monthly basis. Go to republicbroad.org and pledge 20, 30, 40, 50, if possible, 100 a month or more if it's affordable. Click the donate button and become a regular monthly donor. Assure both us and yourself that Republic Broadcasting truth will continue to flow like that morning coffee. The network thanks you.
What really happened with your host, Mike Rivero. Join Mike on the air. Call toll-free 800-313-9443. 800-313-9443.
Welcome back to our show here, and a reminder that RBN is in a perpetual fundraising drive to keep us on the air and operating. And the postal address where you can send a check, money order, or if you prefer anonymity cash, is Republic Broadcasting Network, 2251 Double Creek Drive, number 302, Round Rock, Texas, 78664. The phone number where you can make a credit or debit card donation is 800-724-2719, extension 3. The network thanks you. Now, responding to Joe in Houston, as of an article I saw earlier today, the consensus opinion among U.S. intelligence agencies is that COVID-19 is not genetically engineered and it's not an artificial creation. They are proceeding on the assumption this was an accidental release from this virology center that was studying bat coronaviruses. So I know it's very easy to talk about, you know, tactical nuclear strikes on the Wuhan lab, but I can't help but think about all the civilians living around that who would be absolutely destroyed by that. All right, let's go back to the phones to J-Man in Texas. Hello, J-Man. J-Man, rented lips. What's on your mind today?
Hey, great radio this week, Mike.
Thank you.
Hey, listen, been listening for years. First off, I love Paul. Paul's one of the reasons why I think a lot of us listen and call in, but I love Tom too. He's a great caller. But, you know, Paul's a brilliant guy, aside from the whole socialism thing, but I've heard him call in over multiple shows over multiple networks. He's really, really. If we start banning callers like Paul, then RBN is going to be in, some serious trouble. Start wading into YouTube and Facebook, where you got the thought police now.
Yeah, we certainly don't want to do that, but every radio host does maintain a bad list of abusive callers, callers who waste our time, callers who hurl insults at us, and we try and walk a fine line. We respect the First Amendment, and we don't ban for content we don't agree with. We just ban for for time wasters and stuff like that, like the people who are still out there claiming that the Apollo didn't really land on the moon, chemtrails, the Loch Ness monster, Bigfoot, and all the rest of that other stuff. And
yeah, I'm not suggesting that, but Paul's been calling for years. I mean,
yes,
years.
he has. Yes, he has. But I did not like the tone of his call the other day, and neither did a lot of people in the email. And I banned him, but I can also unban. And like I told Paul, I'm going to think about it for a few days, and we'll see where it goes from there. But basically, following on the argument presented by YouTube and Google and Twitter, we're not a public space. We're a private enterprise, and therefore the First Amendment doesn't apply. Now, I don't agree with that because of a legal decision called the Cherry Sisters decision, which did establish that the First Amendment does apply to private entities. And I'd like to see that brought back.
I'm not even trying to get into like some kind of legal argument. I'm just saying these are quality people, quality callers. So it's kind of got out of hand this past couple of weeks with the back and forth with all the callers.
Yes.
But I appreciate the time. Thank you so much.
Hose.
All right. Thanks, Mike.
All right, thanks a lot. We're going to switch over to Sebastian in Sweden. Hello, Sebastian. Haven't heard from you in a while. What's on your mind?
Yeah, well, I'm still hanging in there, Mike. No, I just want to know, I've been hearing so much about the herd mentality, and we'll see. We'll see in about 6 months when all the dust and all the smoke settles, what's, was it a right choice, right? Now, I know that this is a really bad flu that attacks the respiratory system. So anyone between 65 and over here is just basically, if you get it, they won't do anything for you in the hospital unless you have lots of money.
Yes.
Like if you're Donald Trump or whatever, then you can maybe pay for your own respirator. But what they're doing now, they're giving people in retirement homes morphine and they're almost smothering to death with morphine. Now that really pisses me off. I'm sorry about the language, but because if you're like 70 and over, then they say you can go, and that's the whole thing that really makes me mad, makes me want to go out and open the door and scream, that I'm mad, but open the window, I mean. But so we'll see when the dust settles what happens. But I know there's a doctor and there's a nurse that's going to go eventually to the, whatever it helps, the European court at one hospital here in Sweden. And they were so unprepared because the hospital care, the health care in this country has been going down, like I said before, the last 15 years. And it's so they were really caught with their pants down, actually. But we'll see. It's going to be interesting to see when the dust settles whether this herd, immunity, so-called, whether it's going to be successful or not. So we'll see what happens in about 6 months or whatever after the summer.
We certainly will. We certainly will. Sebastian, I got to let you go. We got to take another break for commercials. The phone lines are loading up. So we're going to come back and try and clear as many of these callers as possible and get back to the news. We'll be right back.
You are tuned in to the Republic Broadcasting Network. Visit our website by going to republicbroadcasting.org.
What would you say if I told you we have a new tool that will increase production and lower maintenance costs for your meat processing company? And it would pay for itself in just 6 weeks.
When pigs fly!
The new EaseOff Model Easy 4 replaces old spring-style carcass droppers and is faster, safer, and more reliable. The EaseOff lowers or lifts 1,000 pounds to or from your rail automatically using our remote control.
Sounds expensive. Can I afford it?
Can you afford not to try the EaseOff? It installs fast with just 3 bolts in place of your current dropper. The effortless operation will reduce fatigue and injuries, speed up your line, eliminate downtime, and increase profit.
How can I order my EaseOff?
Go to easeoff.com, EAZEOFF.com, and hurry because we are offering $200 off on the new Easy 4 for a limited time. Easeoff.com. We make pigs fly. Cows too. EaseOff LLC, Summersville, Missouri, 417-932-6419.
This is too good to be true, except this time it is real. 100%. No joke. How about a $25,000 membership to Front Sight Firearms Training Facility as a thank you bonus for a one-time donation to RBN of only $500? It is a Commander lifetime membership with no yearly fees or dues. The training is free for the rest of your life with over 50 different classes. Then leave it to your designated beneficiary. You provide the approved firearm, holster, ammo, eye, and ear protection. Many features and bonuses are included, more than you would ever expect or believe. This is the ultimate graduation present, wedding gift, etc., etc. See the details. Go to RBN's webpage and frontsight.com to make it happen. You will hear this offer only on this radio network. Help keep RBN alive. Tell 5.
How healthy are your arteries? Deteriorating circulation has a number of early warning signs. High cholesterol, high blood pressure, fingers and or toes often go cold, arms and or legs often go to sleep, sharp diagonal crease in the earlobe, short walks cause cramping or pains in legs. Memory is not as good as it used to be, ankles swell late in the day. Chest pain after physical exercise or emotional stress. If you experience even one of these symptoms, your circulatory system is crying out for attention. Extendivite is a natural solution to help improve your overall health. Extendivite is not your average heart tonic. To order, call 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com or find us on Amazon.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
When all this twisted steel was swept away, did these remaining holes reveal what's really happened?
Welcome back to our show. And before we go back to the phones here, I'd like to reiterate that our callers should not be attacking and bashing each other. I don't want to turn this into like the radio equivalent of the WWF. And we got a caller into the switchboard who complained about it. I'm getting emails complaining about it. So one of the new rules here is, respect for each other and don't call anybody any names. I have a drop button, and I'm not afraid to use it. Let's go back to the phones to John in Kansas. Hello, John. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind? Oh, we lost John. Let's go to Bobby in Florida. Hello, Bobby. What's on your mind today?
Oh, hello, Mike. Can you hear me?
I hear you fine. You're on the air.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to let you know I'm a first-time caller, but I've been listening to you for about 5 or 6 years. And I just like to, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but just thank you for all you've done. I really like the video that you made, All Wars Are Banker Wars. I've shared that with a lot of people, and it seemed to educate me so much. It was like getting a college education in 45 minutes. It's just I still watch it every now and then, and I share it.
Well, thank you.
I just, all this stuff going on about the red state, blue state, we got to figure, I'm thinking everything leads to this Epstein guy. Bill Gates, he hung around with him. Donald Trump hung around. It's just like in your face. It's just showing you the epitome of evil,
These people are evil demons. This Bill Gates guy, Gates, or the little Fauci guy. These people are demons. These people have to be stopped. I mean, I'm not a religious person. I'm an agnostic or atheist. I'm not, but this is just crazy. These people are evil. I don't see how people can't see through this. I don't know. I'd like to share that with you. And thanks for your program. I wish everybody would quit bashing each other and stay on focus.
Yes.
Maybe something positive will come out of all this. I believe in the American people. I think that when this is all over, we'll be stronger. I hope so. And I have faith in the people. I think that we can turn this thing around if, people get in numbers. Like the Ant movie, there was more of us than this.
Yes, I remember that one.
Okay, well, thank you, Mike. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for the call. Thank you for the kind words. And we're going to switch over to Kelly in Austin. Hello, Kelly. Be nice. What's on your mind today?
Hi, Mike. I'm just checking in. As I understand, I think you tentatively bombed banned Paul from New
Yes.
Jersey. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm on the opposite end of the political spectrum from Paul. I don't like Paul. I think he's cocksure. I think he's often intemperate. And frankly, I think many of his comments are just asinine. But I'm going to tell you, I ask you, please do not ban him, because I prefer to have the opportunity to argue with him than
Yes.
not. We don't do anything on a forum like this if people are banned because they have opinions that people don't like. And I think that's the difference between the right and the left. I think the left typically wants to just ban people because they don't like what they hear. Those of us on the right might not like what we hear, but I prefer to have the opportunity to argue with them. And I think this forum would be a
Well,
much
I
better
agree with
forum.
you on that part of it. I agree with you on that part of it, that we want to have constructive, respectful, restrained arguments. The reason I got on Paul's case is that he was coming off of his normal platform of reason, and he was getting into personal attacks as well. And
We heard that. We heard that, and I
Yeah.
agree with you. I thought.
Okay, but like I said, I can unban him, and I'll make that decision over the weekend.
Well, please reconsider. Again, I think Paul has his own problems he has to work through, but really, I think on a forum like this, we need to hear that, because I think people need to be able to argue against that.
Mhm.
And if we don't have the opportunity to do so, then we're missing something. And I think Paul can learn from hearing others if he'll open his mind to that. Anyway, thanks for taking my call.
All right, thank you for your opinion, and I will consider it. Like I said, this weekend I'll make a decision whether I'm going to unban Paul or not. Okay, we're going to switch over to Joseph in Hawaii. Aloha, brah. What's up?
Oh, aloha, Michael. It's good to talk to you. I listen. I've been listening for quite some time and years, and I don't know my call in, but as long in light of what the other callers have been saying along the same lines, I actually do fully appreciate having a variety of viewpoints on your show, and actually I do enjoy hearing from Dustin and Paul, and I hope that this, and I tend to agree a lot with their viewpoints actually, and I'm only saying that's because I think when we see name calling going on, you stole my thunder on a lot of that, which you said. I totally agree with your points. I don't, when names like, I guess Dustin was being called some kind of name with his name, Depression Dustin or Doomsday Dustin or things like that. When it gets into personal attacks on people, your fellow callers, calling one another those names, that has to stop as far as my perspective is. I think we can agree. We can agree to disagree. We can, argue the issues. But and people who bring up their side of the issues, don't shame them for that. Just go back and present your viewpoint on the same issues, and leave it there. You can't say they're wrong or right. We all have our views, and I think that as long as we keep it at that level, that's what provides the beauty of your show, in my opinion. To be able to hear those viewpoints that we can't hear on just your normal mass media radio. So anger that I hear, not on someone coming out in your show, reminds me of the shows when I hear like Rush Limbaugh. He comes out and he's always so angry and personal attack. And I think, gosh, I just got to get away from that. Let me turn on Michael. Maybe we can hear less of that. And it seems to be kind of filtering through on your show where we have that same kind of mentality. And I appreciate you keeping your finger on the trigger of the button. If people immediately start going after another individual who called in, to me that's wrong. They have just this right to express their opinion, whoever that is. And then
Yes.
let's keep it at that civility. And I think we can be productive. And anyway, just wanted to point that out. But thank you for having the show and allowing us to air those thoughts. The other reason I called, which I think I mentioned to your screener, was that I don't know if you've brought this up because I don't always get to listen to your full show, but Jesse Ventura has recently, I guess, shown his interest in the Green Party, and I didn't know if you had any thoughts on that or if you want to follow up, because I really, really personally like a lot of Jesse's viewpoints and his stance on the issues.
Me too.
He seems, so I just thought, I'd throw that out there and see what your thoughts were on that.
Well, it would be nice if Jesse could get into one of the two main parties. Green Party doesn't have that much of a following. I like Jesse. We've had him on the show. And I certainly liked what he did when he was governor, especially standing up to liberals who were demanding that the government pay for their own mistakes and life choices. And he was absolutely right. That, if you go on out and you get yourself pregnant and you have yourself a small child, why is the state responsible for that? And of course, everybody said, oh, he's being cruel. He's being anti-woman. He's anti-feminist. And, that's why he decided he was going to get out of the politics. But I'm glad he's stepping back in for no other reason than he's going to bring a refreshing point of view to some of these issues.
Yeah, I totally agree. Well, listen, I know you've got a lot of callers, but I just wanted to thank you. And, when you bring up when you can bring up the news as much as possible, that's always appreciated too, because we don't get to hear a lot of the news that you bring up on your mainstream radio. So thanks again.
All right. Well, thanks an awful lot. Aloha. We're going to switch over to Don in Arizona. Hello, Don. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Oh, Mike, the thing about the callers, nobody should even mention each other's name. I mean,
yes,
Dustin was the one that started that in the first place. He would say, he was one that started trying to start debates with the other callers. But if people want to listen to you, you're the smart guy, right? I mean, most of these callers are not Mensa material, Mike. You were a Mensa.
Actually, I was a member of Mensa.
That's what I said. You were, but
yes,
I am. I'm in Mensa. Believe it or not, I'm in Mensa right now. I'm paying.
All right.
I'm paying my
Hey,
dues.
secret handshake.
No, there ain't nothing like that. But they do have a pretty good unmoderated group on Facebook, and you can you can say anything you want, and they can't. There's no moderator that will kick you out. But people want to listen to you talk about the news, Mike, and this whole deal. The reason these people pick quarrels with each other is because really they have nothing to say that will stand up on its own, and they just want to get attention by fighting, arguing and stuff.
Well,
so I want to say one thing.
Got to get that out of here.
Yeah, I mean, you're the man, Mike. You're the one that actually knows stuff.
Well, I want to clarify something here.